episode, right? Good episode. Actually, it was a great episode, wasn't it? Of course it was. Of course it was. And we've got a lot to discuss about tonight's episode of The Jumping Shed. You know me. I'm your host. Let's talk some shit. Welcome to Talking Shed, where we break down and discuss every aspect and juicy detail of this week's episode of the ANC hit show, The Jumping Shed. Johnny's back in town, Margot's neighbor paid her a visit, and, strangely, no appearance from the shed this week. What could that mean? But before we get started, we need to get you involved. Dial 1-888-665-5064 to talk to us about the episode. Or go to Facebook, Twitter, Weagle, YouTube, VidSmack, or Instagram at Talking Shed to let us know your important idea thoughts. Tonight, I'm thrilled to be joined by Ashley King, who plays the mayor's assistant, Margot Fontaine, on The Jumping Shed. Oh, and it looks like she brought her famous dog leash and padlock weapon.
Yeah, I did.
You were great in tonight's show. Ashley, welcome.
Oh, glad to be here. I'm here to love the show.
Well, you know I love your show, so we got that in common. Yeah, if you saw last week's Talking Shed, and if you're a shedder, I know you did, you heard me tease a special guest for tonight's show. And I can reveal now that that special guest I was teasing was superstar musician Kanye West, who, we were told, is a huge Jumping Shed fan. Unfortunately, it turns out our producers were being pranked by some jokers at a local radio station, and Kanye had never agreed to appear. Not funny, KLRZ Morning Zoo. Get a life.
Oh, that's too bad. I was excited to meet Kanye.
After I heard he was a shedder, I was too. I even listened to some of his music. Unfortunately, we just figured out that we'd been tricked by those radio jokers like 40 minutes ago. So our producers had to scramble to get us a replacement. Luckily, our replacement guest schedule is really open since his show was canceled a long time ago. We're glad he can help us out. Once again, we're pleased to be joined by TV cake maker, the Ace of Cakes. Welcome, Ace.
I prefer Duff. You know, the Ace of Cakes thing was a long time ago. But thanks, I'm glad to be here. I'm here.
Great to meet you, Duff. My girlfriends and I used to watch your show all the time.
Oh, you did? Well, that's awesome. Thank you, actually.
Okay, let's keep our focus on the Jumping Shed, because that's what this show's about. Unlike shows about food, JS is extremely complex, intricate, and layered.
Well, I'm here. If we're talking about layers, my show's had plenty of them cake layers.
True. I loved the episode where you made the 8-layer cake.
Oh, well, hey, can you remember every layer that was in that cake?
Oh, God. Let's see. Chocolate, strawberry, marmalade, bacon, peanut butter.
Okay. Looks like we have a fan calling in.
Oh.
Princess Warrior 2008. You're live on Talking Shed. Idea thoughts about tonight's episode?
What was going on with tonight's JS episode, man? Nothing happened. The shed wasn't even in it. Plus, it didn't make sense. Johnny came back to Portland and was just skateboarding along and hanging out with that girl he met behind the mall. And we saw that the cops were looking for Johnny last week. So, why didn't they arrest him?
Okay. Slow down. This is just what I was talking about earlier. Shows like The Jumping Shed are written at such a highly intricate level that you'd almost have to be some sort of Mensa genius to understand them without a little help. And we're in luck tonight because we have Ashley here. Ashley, you've been on the show since episode 1.3. You shed, you loved me. Can you explain what was going on with Johnny this week to our shedder friend, Princess Warrior 2008?
Well, as you know, Imuer, I have to be extremely careful in what I say about the show. My bosses at ANC do not like spoilers. So let me just put it this way. Just keep watching. I'm sure everything will be explained.
Well, we're definitely going to keep watching. Does that answer your question, Princess Warrior?
No, not at all.
Fantastic. You have a nice night, okay, sweetheart?
But
It's great talking to the young fans. They may not understand every aspect of such a complex piece of narrative art, but we're glad you're tuning in. Ace, what did you think of tonight's episode? Pretty cool, right? I mean, certainly not boring, right, Ace?
Oh no, not boring. It was a solid episode. Hey, did you notice that scene where Margot walked past the bakery and that guy came coming out with a bunch of boxes of cupcakes and, well, interesting piece of trivia, cupcakes are actually just tiny little cakes. The name comes from the fact that the cakes are so small they could fit into a cup. Bet you didn't know that one.
Ace,
Duff.
this is why your show was canceled. No one likes cake, no one wants to talk about cake or think about cake, okay? Eagle-eyed viewers of tonight's show may have noticed a certain talk show host making his acting debut.
You were great, my dear.
Thanks, Ashley, but working with a pro like you really helped. But I'll admit, I was a little nervous. Anyway, let's take a look at the clip. Hey, Margot!
Oh, hi, Chuck. You startled me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just came over to congratulate you on your new shed.
What shed? I don't have it. I don't have a shed.
Well, wait, where did it go? I know it was there. I saw it last night when I drove by. So, what did you think of Chuck's debut, Ace?
Why would anyone care if their neighbor bought a new shed? I don't understand that.
Pardon?
It was a really good job. Nice job.
Thanks. I thought it turned out pretty good too. Okay, we have a special guest waiting to talk to us via VidSmack satellite. Welcome to the show, jumping shed writer extraordinaire, Barry Belkin.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Barry, you wrote one of my favorite episodes of Jumping Shed, episode 2.12, Bullshed. What gave you the idea of having an angry bull come charging out of the shed at the end of the episode?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Edwin Henderson at the time was producing one of those rodeo films that he makes, and it was the same time we were shooting the episode. He'd already paid for it, and so, yeah, he said we had to use it.
Oh, interesting. Huh. Will we see the bull again?
That bull is dead. Killed, actually. Long stories.
Okay, well, we'll save it for next time then, because right now, I need to know, what does the rest of Season 4 have in store for the fans? Any teases?
Teases, no. Well, so we're still kind of crafting the rest of the story arc. Haven't figured out exactly where a lot of the plot points are going to go, or really, directionally speaking, where we're headed, but we're kind of playing it by ear.
No problem. Quality takes time, right? How about next week's episode 4.4? Give us a 4.4 tease, Barry.
Playing it by ear. Still cranking out that script. Working on it.
You're still writing next week's show?
Yeah. I mean, I want to say that we're close. We've got it figured out mostly, but I will say Jumping Shed is in it. So you got that.
Cool. That sounds exciting. Thanks for joining us, Barry.
Yeah. Great to be here. It's in my contract.
Great talking to one of the minds behind the magic. Okay, after we return from these important messages, we're going to get an advanced look at the Jumping Shed video game coming out across all platforms this holiday season.
What?
And yes, Ace, you can play as the Shed.
I'm there.
We've also got my buddy Josh over in the Cheez-It Fun Fan Zone.
Oh, the fucking shit. I love it.
Cheez-It, not Cheez-Its. Cheez-It. How many times do I have to go over this? Plus, we're going to be joined by an adorable little guy who might just be the youngest cheddar ever. He's really, really precocious. Try not to laugh when he uses big words. I dare you. But before that, we're going to enjoy the results from this week's JS fan poll question. What is the scariest episode so far of The Jumping Shed? We'll be right back.